Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning. It's time for Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. It's Thursday. It's March 23rd. My name is Joe Callahan, and we have a couple of strangers here at the Coffee Ann table. Just being funny. Em wasn't here last week. Bob wasn't here last week. Scott McGee wasn't here last week. It was just me.
You for the whole day?
No. It was me and Dave. This is funny. It was me and Dave, and we had Deputy Chief Caloro coming in from the city, but he was coming in at 8:30. So from 8 to 8:30, it's me and Dave. At 8:15, Kafin Oil shows up because we're having issues here that Dave had to address with those people, and so he had to leave. It was 12, and I counted it, 12 minutes of just me. I said, boy, it doesn't get any duller than this.
I don't know.
And then Dave came back, and we were good for the next half hour. But from about 8:18 to about 8:30, it was just me.
How many advertisers canceled?
Well, quite a few. And anyway, Bob Lauder's here. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Good to see you.
And Emily Haney Sheehan's here. Hi, Em.
Good morning, everyone. Happy spring.
Happy spring to you. So we're hoping for warm temperatures. Let's get to the 60s. Here
I
we go.
know.
So you put away the sweaters.
Yeah, I mean it's a little. It has a little nip in the air this morning.
When I get up,
in between time.
Yeah, when you leave in the morning, it's 30 degrees. In the afternoon, now it's 60. And now you're sweating.
Yeah.
Because you had to dress warm for the morning.
Tuesday afternoon, I was driving with the sunroof open in the car. It was great.
There you go.
I know. It's been nice. The next couple of days, unfortunately, is not going to be.
I know, a little stormy.
Stormy.
Okay.
But
Be a little Stormy Daniels.
But
All right, and let's get a first message from the Call newspaper, please.
So, cutest pet contest is underway. So
this could get ugly. There's going to be fisticuffs. I get the cutest pet.
So please go to woonsocketcall.com and pawtuckettimes.com and vote for the cutest pet. It's always, a nice time of year to kind of goo-goo and gaga over people's pets. And we have some great sponsors this time around this season that's participating. So definitely go on woonsocketcall.com or pawtuckettimes.com and vote.
All right, very good. Thanks there, Em. All right, Scott McGee is here.
Nice.
He's being shanghaied right now by Dave. But he'll be in here in a few minutes.
He's fashionably late.
But I know Bob's been itching at the get-go here because he wants to give his opinions on all things Ed Cooley. Okay, Bob, go.
Ed Cooley. Well, he's leaving.
Oh, like I said, he is. He's fashionably late. Yes.
And he saved me from the embarrassment
That's
of
right.
In the shower.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. How are you today?
Scott McGee has joined us. And now Bob is about to regale us on all things Ed Cooley. Okay, go.
knowing that I know zero about sports, but I did read the paper.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So what do you know?
And I know that he left to go to Georgetown.
Oh, very good.
And his daughter is in Georgetown.
That's great.
Yes.
All right, very good. All right.
I'm just mad that I'm not his realtor.
Yeah,
You didn't get that listing in East
I
Greenwich?
did not get that listing. I'm very upset.
Wow. Okay. How much is he selling it for?
1.9 was it?
Was it?
No, I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
I want to say 2.5.
Oh. See,
Yeah.
I didn't care. It wasn't mine. So.
Yeah. I want to say it's like 2.5.
Sorry,
But
Scott.
I could get a buyer for it, right?
Oh, hey, there you go.
That's right.
All right, Em, your thoughts on Ed? You don't want to say?
No. Disgusted.
All right, there you go.
Why? He's been there for 12 years. He's done a great job.
He said he would never leave.
He said he would never leave.
He's a Providence guy. It was
Never
his dream
say
job.
never.
That's right. It was his dream job to get this, and he will never leave.
Yeah.
12 years later.
He never does. He
goodbye.
doesn't know a thing about divorces, does he?
Is he
Part
divorced?
of my business. No, I mean part of my business is people who would never leave.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, well.
it happens.
You're right, it does, and you always got to follow the money, and like I said, you don't know what was going on behind the scenes at Providence College.
True, but it's just, it's
It's
just,
sad. And
it
we're
is.
just-
It's disheartening.
It is when you like the coach. If he was lousy, that would have been different.
Let me clarify. I was not inferring that he was divorcing in his personal life.
Yeah.
I just meant the concept of never leaving and divorce. That happens.
Right.
I knew what you meant, Bob.
Okay,
I knew
great.
yeah.
All right. Any thoughts there, Scott?
No, I said, I'm just upset about the house. I mean, everyone has their thing.
What, you're not a PC fan?
No, I mean, I'm like Bob, kind of. I own a sports bar, but I'm not. I have to read the paper to keep up with what's going on, right?
No, you are not as bad
No.
as me. No way.
No,
man.
no one is
no,
bad.
Probably not.
No,
Probably
no.
not.
No
So-
one is worse than Bob
You
when
own
it
a
comes to
sports bar?
sports.
I know.
You're in.
You know what?
You've got everything.
I got everything.
So the new coach, who they have not announced yet, but is in town. It was in town all day yesterday and on campus. They just didn't announce who he was yet. And my theory is that we're going to let Georgetown have their day because they announced Ed Cooley yesterday. So we're not going to say anything.
Well, and
then we'll get some attention on
and
us
today it's kind of like the homecoming welcome for Ed Cooley in Georgetown
Is
is
it?
today.
Oh, okay.
I want to
So
steal the thunder.
so it's the press conference and all that kind of stuff today. But yeah, there's been a lot of rumors. One rumor, which was actually kind of surprising, of different coaches and things like that was and of course the name totally went out of my head, so never mind.
Okay. Well, thanks. No, the man on campus is.
I wonder if the new guy needs a house.
Here
Yes,
you go.
he does.
He probably does.
He's moving up from George Mason
Oh,
University.
see.
He's got to
Yeah.
stay somewhere. So
Yeah.
His name is Kim English. We're
Yeah,
looking
Kim
for
English.
PC to name
Yeah.
him the head coach. Young guy. Looks like he's 20.
Does he?
Wow.
He's
Good for him.
So it's I would say it's a step up for him. So we'll see if PC actually makes the announcement today. That looks like it's who it's going to.
Yeah,
All right. So Scott, headline on the front page of today's call: Woonsocket announces new wastewater oversight job,
Yes.
and you only need 10 years experience
Right.
in wastewater to have the job. Whoa, hey, what a deal! And they want to start out at $85,000 a year for this position. I don't think it'll stay at 85,000, Scott.
You think it'll go for more? Or you
I think
it'll-
someone that
yeah.
wants this job will want
Someone
more
wants
money
yeah.
to do this, especially coming in and seeing you're
What's going on.
stepping into a problem.
Stepping into, literally.
Literally, a literal blank
Literally.
job kind of thing.
Yes, one of the things that me on the council that I've noticed is just the lack of help. So I think everyone's criticizing what's not getting done, bills not being sent out, so on and so forth. And I will say that I voted for Christine Chamberlain to stay and things like that. Well, I don't think anyone saw the desks and the conference tables and all the paperwork that they were going through and trying to keep up on things. So a lot of people criticized me for that, but I was like, you know what, this lady's been here for so many years, knows what she's doing, and I know she's going to end up helping out on the other side too. So that's why that's one of the things. But a lot of people don't realize that it's just they're so bombarded, and it's easy to say, oh, let's not keep someone and not pay someone, but the next thing you know, no one's getting their bills, and everyone's mad they got a double bill, and so on and so forth. And these are the reasons why, because they just need staff. So I was happy to see that also, because we obviously need some more help at the sewage treatment plant.
Now, is this something that the city council has already approved the position?
We've talked about it,
Okay.
yes.
So-
But we haven't finalized everything yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that it'll still come down to the city council to approve the position, approve the pay. Will that come
Correct.
to you as well?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Will the city council do any interviewing, or was that done by Steve D'Agostino?
They're in the
and
baby
his job?
steps. Yeah, it wouldn't be us interviewing, right? It would be Steve.
Okay, and then
Lisa,
he'll come to
the
you.
mayor.
This is who we like. This is the position, and this is what the salary
Right.
and benefits will be, and
Exactly.
then it's up to the council to say okay or nay
Right,
on the
right.
whole thing. Okay.
But
Interested candidates have until April 7th to apply, which is pretty close by.
right.
So you got to get that resume together. I am not qualified for this job, by the way. I will not be in the running for it.
Right.
And there were so many of us who thought you were always spent your time shoveling.
Thanks, Bob. They want 10 years experience in wastewater treatment and, quote, the ability to evaluate data provided along with observations to make recommendations on improvements or determine where focused should be. All right.
How do you post a job like that? Because it sounds like you're looking for somebody who has
Very specific.
very specific, and you have a short period of time in which to make the applications. Do you send it out to?
They use like Indeed and things like that too. The regular internet websites. That was one of the
Okay.
questions I asked when we weren't getting anybody. But they do use a lot of different
Indeed,
angles. and-
ZipRecruiter.
Yeah, they
those
use different
places.
ones. Indeed is
Okay.
one of them. I know that for sure.
Oh,
But
And it's
yeah,
posted
then
on the
you
city's
find
website.
engineers and things like that. They'll be on there too. So
I'm sure the word goes out by word of mouth as well.
Right.
Once when Socket's looking for this, and then it spreads around the other.
Oh, absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
So-
it's always good to know what jobs are open so we can tell people too.
Yeah. All right.
And they're always, sometimes they will be in the call as well. So
That's right. You're absolutely right.
yes,
Find
All right.
local. Find local.
yes, fine local.
Well, good luck. Good luck finding someone for this position.
Thank you.
I hope you get at least a couple of candidates.
Yeah, I
that,
hope so, too.
That want to do this.
I feel like the
kind of
whole
job.
economy is getting a little bit better as far as people getting back to work. You know, so yeah, I just found the restaurant was terrible for the longest time. I mean, we always still need some help, but we're finally getting to the point where I think people need money again. Thank God.
All the free
You know,
money is in
all
it.
the free money is gone. So, but that's a good thing because people need to get back to work. We're just, we everyone was wondering where did everybody go, right? Where did everyone
Exactly.
go? And
Oh, it's
because
so true.
every industry was hurting. So, but yeah, it's good to see that people are getting back to work.
I gave my given my theory on this, and you still might have a lull for like another year, maybe a year and a half, but because it's the kids that are 16 and 17 and 18, when they get a little older, they're the ones that didn't get the free money, so
Right.
they're coming into the workforce. But you, as the business owner, busboys, waitresses, things like you have to wait
Until that
another
runs out.
year
Yeah.
until they get to 18 at least.
Right.
Before you can
Yep.
start hiring
Yeah.
again. And then you'll see a plethora of people looking for jobs.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so. We definitely need, it
In other
was
places
tough
as
to
well.
manage people because, it's just like we needed people so bad. How
Oh,
do you
yeah.
manage them?
Yeah.
It's, you can't discipline even sometimes because, and that's a big no-no in management, right? It's like, it doesn't matter. You have to fire this person because they did this, this, and this. And then
Ooh, now you're
sitting
down
there.
again. Now you're
Yeah.
down a
you're
person.
sitting there
Yeah.
going, oh my God, you got your hands tied. We had our hands tied for a year and a half.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
maybe
People
even
come-
2 years.
Where
you know?
people come to you and say, Scott, I'd really like to help, but I'm up to 60 hours this week.
Oh, absolutely. We
Yeah.
had people working on it, yeah. Because in a restaurant, you have your key, like Gators, it's like 50 employees. So we have our key 10 people that work full-time plus. So, but they were working full-time plus.
Plus, yeah.
You know?
that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I
about
would
50.
never expected.
Yeah.
I know it's a popular restaurant, but 50
Yeah.
people is really
Between
impressive.
takeout people, we have pizza cooks, regular cooks, waitresses.
Oh yeah, you have to. I
bus
mean,
boys,
that's like complete
but-
staff.
Yeah, complete. Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, just knowing, having, best friends
I know, you wouldn't
owning
think it.
restaurants and stuff like that. I mean, it's just the kitchen itself is a lot when it comes to a larger
yeah.
restaurant.
Wow.
And we're not
Yeah.
that big, but we have 20 kitchen people.
Yeah, I
You
mean
know.
that's
Yeah.
Jeez.
that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have delivery people too, or do you rely on DoorDash
delivery,
and Grubhub
we
and those places?
yeah, that went away with COVID.
Did it?
So
Oh,
we used to
okay.
have delivery people, and
Yeah.
then we switched it over to DoorDash,
Yeah.
and it just worked out well.
It's working out?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
worked out very well.
All right.
Unfortunately, and people probably realize on DoorDash you pay a little bit more because they take a huge percentage
Yeah.
of whatever it is. They try to get like 32% of the sale.
Wow.
So
Wow,
that's
pretty
huge,
high.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
So you got to negotiate a little bit, but then you also have to bump your prices up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid to say that because everybody does it.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a premium for just getting it delivered to your door. you know?
Absolutely. And
But-
and I
sometimes it's worth it, right?
Oh, I must say, last Saturday I did go and get my Reuben with extra sauerkraut, and my husband actually had the steak sandwich, which he said it was absolutely delicious.
Oh, good.
And I must say the onion rings, love the onion rings.
Oh, so you did go to Gators.
I did.
All right, thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome. I did.
Wish I knew you were there.
I did. I went. It was my day of errands, so I didn't get there until I think it was like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I had my husband. When I left my last like shopping, for groceries stop, I was like, okay, call it in, and it took me a little bit more than 20 minutes to get there, and but yeah,
That's perfect. Then it's
Best-
waiting for you when you get there.
It was.
You
It
don't have to wait
was.
for the food.
Yep.
Oh,
It was.
I like
It was
that.
waiting for me. Oh, that's
key.
Always key with my husband and I. No matter if I'm calling it in or he's calling it in, we
You gotta
'cause
plan it so it's there when you get there.
Exactly. We plan it, to the T. So.
All right. We're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. So, M, time for your second message from the Call newspaper.
Yes. So, yes. You know what they say? April showers bring May flowers. April is almost here. And with April and May coming up, we have a spring fling special promotion. So you can actually advertise for a full 7 days straight in the Woonsocket Call or 6 days straight in the Pawtucket Times for a deeply discounted rate. But you also get additionally 2,500. Sorry about that. Scratch that. It's Thursday. It's almost Friday, people. It's been a long week. But 2,500 extra impressions on our website, and there are some other great value that goes on with that. So if you are interested in the Spring Fling promotion, please give me a call at 401-767-8500.
All right, Em, very good. And we're going to take a break here on Coffee. And comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with Remax Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
It's Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callen here with Bob Lauder and Emily Haney-Sheehan and Scott McGee. And Em, let's hear that phone number for Scott McGee again, please.
Sure. It's 401-639-2906.
And one more time.
401-639-2906.
All right, very nice.
Amazing.
Scott, what do
I
you...
would say I'd try yours, but I know I'm not going to do as good of a job.
I gotta try to
You-
think
your own
of a
jingle.
different tune
Yeah.
and jingle for my own phone number.
Scott, what do you got for a listing this week?
All right, let's think beach
East
now.
Greenwich, Ed
We're going to
Cooley.
think beach. We're
All
going to say
right.
Narragansett, though. 39 Davisville Lane, Narragansett, Rhode Island. Eastwood Look, right across from Scarborough Beach.
Scarborough.
Very cool, nice ranch. I actually did have this listing in the winter, and we didn't have it very long. We took it off just because the girls moved in, the college kids moved in, and it was just, very inconvenient for them. So I think this is just a better time anyway. I feel like the market's breaking. So this one's 39 Davisville. It's a full ranch, 2,100 square feet. So
Ooh,
2,100 on
yeah.
one level is a nice big house. fully updated. New boiler. It's got a new hot water heater. The roof is, I think it's about 10 years old, but in good shape. Great area. So $839 is the listing price. $839.9, and just a great area. And this house actually, the cool thing about this, income wise, the people rent it out. It's about $60,000 a year. So that's a nice income coming in from the house. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
College kids are like $3,800 a month, and then it rents out for $3,000 a week in the summertime. So
Oh yeah, it's insane.
Pretty sweet.
yep, it's a great house. So if you
Can you show
want
us the picture?
I will. Here you go. I'll pass it around.
Thanks.
Sure thing.
Oh,
funny.
and it has definitely that beach
Yeah, it
front
has a
look.
beach. Yep.
Yeah.
The whole area, Eastwood Look, is famous
Yeah.
for that, and there's
Yeah, it is.
literally nothing for sale in there. So
That's great.
We had friends
That is
of
a
a
nice
family
looking
that
house.
had a house down near Scarborough, and that's what they would do. They would rent it out in
Sure.
the fall and the winter to college students. They went down there in the summertime. They didn't rent it out during that, but they had some nice income coming in from them. But they always told us only 1 year they decided to rent to like 3 or 4 females,
sure,
and then said never again
Really?
will we rent to females,
that's funny.
because they went in after school ended in May. The
was a
house was a
mess.
mess.
I have
They
to
said
tell you
whenever
that the
whenever they
ones that-
rented to the guys,
Yep.
the place was great.
Oh,
That's
see,
funny.
So they had one-
I have to do the opposite, because
right.
I can say for my husband and his friends, they went to PC, and they actually had holes in the walls.
Oh boy.
When they rented it?
No, what? Yeah,
Okay.
because they put those holes in the
Oh,
walls.
okay.
And yeah, and broke furniture, and yeah, they had wild parties.
All right. Well,
So you know what?
maybe it's different from renting an
Well,
apartment to renting
will,
a house.
I will say on this one, the tenants, they're immaculate women. The
Really?
girls.
See.
They're immaculate,
Okay,
yeah.
well,
No,
times
but
change.
But if we talk about the restaurants, it's a whole other story with the restroom. The women's room's always trash.
just
and
a wreck.
the men's room's always nice. So
I
you never
noticed
know.
that- I noticed
Depends
that-
on the person, I
noticed
guess.
that my first job at Burger King, when we used to go in and clean the restrooms, and you had to go in and into the women's room. I'm like, it's a wreck in here. What are they doing?
all right.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Down at Pawtucket, M.
Yes.
The talk is turning Memorial Hospital into
Yeah.
apartments.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
No, not a bad idea.
Picking up
you
steam
know.
at all?
Well, I mean, there's been, back and forth, because it has been, a warming shelter, and it has been, for a while now, a place of haven for many of the homeless population. But I mean, it's such a big facility, and I think, the housing's always needed. Especially in the larger cities. So I think it's a great idea. I really do. I mean, look at
We definitely need more housing.
yeah,
So,
we do,
that's a good
we
idea.
do, and I think that there would be a lot of units.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause
And-
that building's huge.
That building is huge, and you could have 1 to 3 bedroom apartments there. So I think it would be great because of where it's located. A lot of people would probably move to that area and commute into Boston. That's one
New
of the
commuter rails right there.
exactly. So it's very it's convenient access. So I think it's a very good idea. I mean, even with our own Main Street here in Woonsocket, my building. We're gonna stay there on the first floor, but on the upper floors.
How many units are going in there?
So I believe there'll be at least 12
Oh, well.
in our building, and then the building next to us there'll be more because it's a larger space.
Sure.
But it's I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna have a fresh new look at the call, and it'll be much more manageable at 2,000 square feet than 30,000 square feet. So it's I get steps in a lot in that building.
Is it loud over there with all the
It's
construction going on?
it's a it's a little loud, but you know,
end.
it becomes white noise
After a while?
After a while, it really does. You know, but there's a lot of progress, you know, that's going on, and I'm excited.
Cool.
Yeah, to see the
We are too.
final result. Thank you. Yes, yes. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, you know, are you guys leaving?" Nope. We're gonna be still on. If you're looking at the call, you know, building, we're still gonna be on that right hand side, right there in the front. So,
All right, perfect.
looking forward to it.
Bob.
Yes.
Dolphins spotted.
Dolphins. Yes.
Spotted in the Mount Hope Bay.
Swimming dolphins, not
Yes,
not football.
Not
dolphins.
football players. The actual fish.
Hey, you know what?
Fish. The actual mammal.
Yeah, it's a mammal.
But pods of them, not just one.
That's great.
There's a whole group of them, and they're very happy about this. That says that the quality of shellfish, or the quantity really, is bumping up
Yep.
because that's what they're feeding on.
Also wonder if it means that the water is getting warmer though too, and that's
That's a little concerning.
Well, yeah, you don't want it to get too warm right now, but hey, here they are.
great.
So if you want to pop on down and maybe you can get your picture taken with Flipper. I think you're going to run on the water though and try to attract them. They won't come to the land.
Oh, okay.
That's nice. The DEM conducting routine shellfish quality monitoring, and the dolphins appear to be following a large school of bait fish. Got to follow the
I thought
food.
it'd be too cold. I guess not. Huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it is warmer, that's a little
Right. A little
concerning
scary, yeah.
because
You know how humbling it must be though to be
Mother
thought of
Nature.
as bait fish.
That's
you
pretty
don't even
low.
have
You don't have a real
not
name.
mackerel or anything. No, just bait
yeah,
fish.
bait fish.
Bait fish, yeah.
Your only purpose
There's,
is to
there
be
was a lot of
eaten.
whales. There's a lot of whales off Block Island this year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just.
Which
we
part? The
stopped- we
southern part or east, west, north? Where
Kind
would you say?
of between New York and Block
Okay.
Island, that
Yeah.
area there.
I wonder why.
I don't know, but it was really cool to
Yeah.
see him jumping out of the water and everything.
Oh yeah.
Stopped and did some
And
whale watching.
you know, soon enough it'll be shark.
Shark season.
Oh, there's some sharks.
Oh yeah, there are already.
Follow the seals.
Yep, exactly.
That's who they. That's a better name. They're not called bait food for the sharks,
No,
Bob.
no, good, good.
They're right up there. So let's see. Senator, U.S. Senator from Rhode Island, Sheldon Whitehouse. He wants the Federal Reserve to tighten rules for mid-sized banks. Says the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, show the importance of banks with up to $250 million in assets to the nation's financial system. They say increased oversight will bolster consumer confidence.
$250 million doesn't sound like a very large bank. to
That's
me.
why they're a mid-sized bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
I
you like
don't-
the idea?
I have no idea. When the SVB Bank went bad, there was talk that during the last administration they had reduced the impact of the Dodd-Frank regulations they put in back in 2008. I don't know the specifics of those things, so I can't tell you if that was for real or not. And
Okay.
I don't know what his plan is for further regulation.
Okay, up in Massachusetts, Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren, they're with Senator Whitehouse on this to bolster the rules. You like the idea, Scott?
Well, I do like the idea because we don't want to end up in the situation we were in 2007-8.
No.
You know.
Right. The collapse there, yeah. And we don't want to have runs on the banks
Right.
here
Exactly.
either. And
Yep.
okay, like the idea, Em?
Yes. I am a credit union person. So, for the, mid-size actual banks, I think it's, we don't want to see anything happen on the East Coast like what's happening on the West Coast. So, I think it's, if enough people can get behind it, I think it would be a good thing.
All right. Well, we'll see what can be done about that. The Fed just raised the interest rate another quarter of a point.
Yep.
Does that affect you?
I heard that. Yes.
It must affect you, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are starting to realize now that as far as interest rates go, they're not dropping to 2 or 3% anytime soon.
No.
So if somebody wants to buy a house, they they're going to need a house. They're going to need a house. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's up to about 7%.
Not quite.
Not
but
quite,
Right around
but,
there, right?
yeah.
A little less than that. But again, when I don't know about your first house, and it was a while ago. When my first house was 10%. So we look back at those rates. We've just been spoiled for a long time.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to between 5 and 7, it's not terrible.
Right,
It's just it's terrible compared to 2 or 3. You know, and it's hard to get someone that has a mortgage paying 2-3% to bite the bullet and upsize. You know, you're going to upsize and spend a couple of $100,000 more, and then you're going to pay double
More
the interest rate.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the tricky part right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, we were in that, you know,
Same situation.
that we're in that 3%, you know, 3% right now.
Right.
And it's
hard
like,
to let it go.
oh yeah, no,
Right.
we're
It's
not,
almost like free money.
we're not going anywhere.
And before we have to take a break, what are you hearing again down at Pawtucket about the soccer stadium and how the city of Pawtucket doesn't? They're stalling on giving money.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't.
$27 million.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, you know, through the wire, so
Yeah.
to speak. You know, I think right now it's more of focusing on like McCoy and
Knocking it down.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, trying to get the, you know, one high school up,
Built.
you know, built and up and running.
Wasn't part of the issue with the sports bonds that they were worried that with the rising interest rates, they were going to have a higher interest rate offered on the bonds that they were selling. And of course, that means they have to raise more money to pay off the bonds when they come due. I think that was one of the issues they had on that.
That's what they're saying. Challenging market conditions.
Right. Yeah.
So, but the team still plans to make its debut in 2024. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Get those-
Yeah,
that right.
absolutely.
All right, break time here on the Coffee and program. Scott, you got to go.
I have to go.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Have a
to
good
see
day,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
You
You
as
too.
well.
I'll leave this in case one of you guys want to buy it.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I'll go into my backyard to my money tree and
Pull a few hundreds off the tree.
have a good one. Scott.
All right, time for a look at the forecast being brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
Cloudy skies today with a 30% chance of a shower this afternoon. Light southerly winds could gust up to 26 miles per hour. Tonight, a 40% chance of showers, mainly before 10, mostly cloudy with a low of 41 degrees and winds gusting to 25 miles per hour from the southwest. Friday's weather, partly sunny with a high of 53. Saturday, 80% chance of rain and snow in the morning, high of 42. Little or no snow accumulation is expected. Saturday night, 100% chance of rain to wash it all away. Overnight low of 36. Sunday, a 30% chance of rain in the morning. Then mostly sunny the rest of the day with a high of 53. It'll be breezy, though, with winds up to 30 miles an hour. Monday, sunshine and 51. Tuesday, 40% chance of rain and snow, partly sunny with a high of 49. And on Wednesday, 40-mile-an-hour gale force winds from the northwest, partly sunny and 45.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, where we have cloudy skies and 51 degrees. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At the turn of this century, 27% of people who passed away were cremated. By the year 2020, that figure rose to 56%. The Cremation Association of America projects that by the year 2040, 4 out of 5 Americans will choose cremation over a casket burial. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center of Woonsocket can answer your questions about the cremation process. Go online to providencecremation.com. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center on Spring Street, Woonsocket. Let them create the perfect service for your loved one. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on my morning sports reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
It's Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Emily Haney-Sheen. And joining us at the Coffee and Table would be Mike Narducci, manager of the Board of Canvassers here in the city of Woonsocket. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning, all.
Nice to have you with us. We're going to get to Mike in just a second. But, Bob, it's time for your first message from your law office. What do you have for us?
Well, I have them backwards because I must have left the first advertisement in the car. I'll run up and get it afterwards. What I was going to talk
We have
with
to
you
have
about,
a recess.
Yeah.
what I was going to talk with you this morning is some of the strange fact situations which precede judicial decisions and how they come about. The second one I'd like to talk with you about is the old law school chestnut of the Palsgraf versus the Long Island Railroad Company, which established the concept that liability for negligence can be established only where there is a duty to the injured party and the breach of which causes liability, and the risk must be reasonably perceived in order to establish the liability. The circumstances of the case which make the case interesting to non-law students are: on a warm afternoon in August of 1924, 99 years ago, Helen Palsgraf decided to take her daughters to the beach. In those days, the easiest transportation was by railroad, and Miss Palsgraf purchased tickets along with her children and waited on the platform of the Long Island Railroad when a train pulled into the depot. It wasn't the train she intended to take, and she and the children stood back on the platform. As the train was departing from the station, two men came running down the platform to catch the train. The first one was able to leap on board, but the second man was carrying a parcel, and he had to be pulled onto the car by the conductor and pushed from behind by a railroad employee. As the man was being pushed onto the train, he dropped the package, which contained fireworks, which exploded when the package hit the rails. The concussion from the exploding fireworks toppled a large coin-operated scale situated on the platform, which fell over and injured Mrs. Palsgraf. A weird set of circumstances. Mrs. Palsgraf sued the railroad, claiming that it was due to the negligence of the employees that she suffered the injury. A jury agreed with her, and the railroad appealed the verdict to the State Supreme Court of New York. In a decision, the court ruled that the risk reasonably to be perceived by defines the duty to be obeyed, and that in this case, the trial court should have determined that it was unlikely that the defendant railroad could have reasonably perceived the likelihood of such an incident arising, and they granted the defendant's motion for summary judgment to dismiss the cause of action before it went to the jury. The decision in Palsgraf, however, is not carved in stone, and nowadays courts are more likely to leave to a jury the determination of foreseeability, even as a part of duty. If you think my office may be of assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
This is so funny, Bob, that you bring up it because it deals with fireworks. We just had a story a couple of days ago down in Orlando, Florida. There's a family that is suing SeaWorld because they got injured, or some family members got injured at a warehouse, not at SeaWorld, but another warehouse. And the warehouse stored fireworks. And SeaWorld contracted the fireworks company, and it's the fireworks company that had the problem where the fireworks went off in the warehouse. So the family is suing the fireworks company and SeaWorld. I'm thinking,
How?
I don't see the
What's
Yeah,
connection.
I don't see the connection either.
I don't know. We didn't have that much information on it, but that was the story.
Whoa.
Is SeaWorld is involved because they contracted with this fireworks company. I'm like, well, I don't see it really going anywhere, but
Right.
I don't know. Fireworks and legal, that's great.
so there you go.
Most lawyers love fireworks.
We got another-
especially in court.
We got another great story, and like I told Dave earlier, never let it be said that the Supreme Court doesn't hear the really good lawsuits. Okay,
Yep.
I don't know if you heard about this one. A trademark case involving Jack Daniel's whiskey
Oh, I saw that yesterday.
and a dog chew toy company
Yep.
has been heard by the Supreme Court. Have you heard about this?
No.
This one? Okay.
No.
The High Court heard oral arguments from a lawyer for Jack Daniels, who claims that a chew toy named Bad Spaniels violated trademark law by, quote, associating its fine whiskey with dog poop. All right. Now the dog toy.
Sorry.
The dog toy is shaped like a Jack Daniel's bottle. You know how that looks like, okay? But instead of saying Old Number 7 Tennessee Whiskey, the label says Old Number 2 on your Tennessee carpet. Now, the Bad Spaniels toy is made by VIP Products, who say the toy is an obvious parody and therefore protected as free speech under the First Amendment. Do you know what the Supreme Court said, Bob, on this?
Not yet.
Okay, the Supreme Court justices on Wednesday seemed to find fault on both sides.
Okay.
Okay, and this likely will send it back to the lower courts for a little extra work.
Great.
So they're hearing all the important cases here in the United States.
I'm surprised it got all the way to the Supreme
Isn't
Court.
that
would have to
surprising
go
that they
through the
took a look
Federal
at this?
District Court, Federal Court of Appeals,
Yeah.
and finally to the Supreme Court.
And they decided to hear it.
And it must have been taken a number of years to get there.
I'm sure it did.
Oh my.
And I'm thinking Jack Daniels should just cut it out. This is great advertising that company wants to use your shaped bottle as a dog chew toy.
I saw the photographs
brilliant.
on the news last night,
Yeah.
comparing
Looks
the two,
Yeah.
the toy and the
And the
bottle
bottle.
of Jack Daniels. Well, there's a
Can you
sort
tell
of a
the difference?
resemblance.
It's sort
Yeah.
of a resemblance.
Yeah, you could tell the difference.
Oh, okay
Yeah.
then. Well,
And I
all
remember
right.
when I was in
so
law school
funny.
years and years ago, there was a thick book in the law library about all the cases that Coca-Cola had brought against various people who were infringing on its
Their-
trademark.
Almost be
Yeah.
thousands.
Oh, there
Yeah.
were over 100 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's done a lot.
And yeah, and they must win. Assuming they're winning.
Most
the
of them, I guess,
Coca-Cola
yes.
people.
Right.
And like Dave said, watch out for Disney. Boy, if you do anything Disney oriented with their
Oh,
characters,
yeah.
they're coming after you.
Yep. And now, obviously, it's even, more expanded. So it's Disney, Marvel.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
mean,
that's right.
because they own.
21st Century Fox.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yep.
It's not much they don't own.
right.
Exactly.
So we're here with Mike Narducci, and your tenure here is coming to a close.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah. I'm tomorrow's my last day.
Okay. How long have you been with manager of Board of Canvassers here in Woonsocket?
Just about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I started in July of 2020.
Right at the height of COVID.
Right in the COVID, right in the big presidential election. But we got through it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new challenge. But
Where are you moving on to?
I'm moving on to the City of Providence. I'm going to be the administrator of elections for the City of Providence.
Kind of the same position?
Yes.
All
Yep,
right.
yep, same exact position. Just a lot more polling places.
Yeah, a lot more people.
A lot more voters.
Yep.
And a nice challenge for me. I feel I'm ready to step up to the challenge, and I'm going to miss the team here. We are fortunate enough. We're in Woonsocket. We have a great team. A lot goes into putting on an election. People go in to vote, but they don't know what really goes on. From my Department of Public Works going in and setting up the polling places the day before the election. The day after going in and breaking them down. The school department. The operation staff there. Getting our
what
polling
about
places open. and
Getting the
getting
votes getting the ballots to you.
Yeah, well, that's my poll workers do
Yeah.
that. They seal up the ballots at the end of the night and they bring them to us. But even the police department, giving us, the patrols, during the day, they have the police stop in to the polling places, make sure everything's going according to plan. And the administration, helping us out. It's a great team here, and I'm gonna miss the team, but I'm gonna work on the same team in Providence and get everybody on board there.
So we'll obviously a lot more people in Providence. Will it be up to you to determine which ballots are valid and which ones are not?
Well, not necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
As far as ballot counting, that's done through the DS200s, and the Board of Elections handles certification of ballots and so on and so forth. But we do prepare the ballots. We work with the Secretary of State's office to proof every ballot that's used in the city. Same thing in Woonsocket. I have 12 different ballot styles that we have to proof in Woonsocket. In Providence, I'm going to have about 82 different ballot styles we have to proof.
Wow.
So it's a lot that goes into it, a lot that goes into an election, and that's why we're actually my board, we got 4 good candidates that we're bringing in for interviews today. My board's going to vet them and make a determination and hopefully get a new person in place by the middle of April, because they want to work pretty quickly because they have the special election coming up for Cicilline's seat.
Has that date been decided yet?
It has not been decided yet. I mean, there's been a couple of dates thrown out there. One is a September primary and a November election, and another is, I think, in August and October.
Did they try to shy away from elections being held in the summertime?
That's the thing because of voter turnout, and I think again the governor makes that determination. The governor sets the date and calls for the election for anybody in U.S. Congress, and then the Secretary of State's office and the Board of Elections work together to put a calendar together.
I see. All right, we got to take another break here in the Coffee and program. Bob has run to his car and has got what he found what he was looking for. So very good. So Bob, let's get a second message from your law office, please.
Good morning. Thank you. This is the first message. They're backwards. During my last several commercials, I've discussed with you cases involving sports. This morning, I'd like to talk with you about strange fact circumstances, which are the foundations for establishment of some common judicial precedents. The first case is Summers versus Tice. It was decided by the Supreme Court of California back in 1948. 3 men were members of a shooting party traversing through the countryside in California. Suddenly, a quail flew out from the undercover between them. 2 of the men fired immediately at the quail, and the third man, who was on the opposite side of the quail, was hit in the eye by a single shot. The injured man sued both of the other riflemen, claiming that they were negligent in firing the weapons. The 2 riflemen defended the claim, saying that the individual who fired the injuring shot could not be identified, and liability couldn't be proven against either of them. The Supreme Court of California disagreed with the defendant riflemen. The court ruled that where a group of people are on a hunting party, otherwise engaged in the use of firearms, and 2 of them are negligent in firing in the direction of a third party who is injured thereby, both of those so firing are liable for the injury suffered by the third party, although the negligence of only one of them could have caused the injury. To hold otherwise would be to exonerate both from liability, although each was negligent, and the injured part resulting from the injury resulting from the negligence. If one can escape, the other one can also escape, and the plaintiff is remediless. Ordinarily, defendants are in a far better position to offer evidence to determine which one caused the injury. If you think my office may be of assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
So what you're saying is they were both lousy shots because no one got the quail.
No one got the quail.
Well, and my question is that were they using like pellet guns? Because if it was a real bullet,
would have killed him.
Would have killed him.
Yeah.
Especially in the eye.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was probably some kind of a shotgun that had very small pellets in it or something like that.
Yeah.
I think
like
someone knew
modern day
who really got the other guy. They just didn't want to admit it.
Maybe.
Could be.
Wow.
I don't know.
All right.
It was.
But the quail got away.
Very, 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 very long time ago.
All right. More coffee hands coming your way. Please stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Kathleen LaValle at The Honey Shop. Check out our Facebook page at The Honey Shop RI, and there you'll see a whole list of our new classes and lots of fun things to do. You could join us for making limoncello, pizzas, pasta making, cheese making, so many fun things to do and learn.
Thanks, Kathy. Folks, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop, right behind the Dunkin' Donuts at Park Square in Woonsocket.
Just in case you have not heard, Champ's Diner in Woonsocket is open once again. Stop in today to pick your favorite breakfast dish. Pancakes, waffles, French toast, omelets, muffins, bagels, and fruit can all be had at Champ's Diner. Judy invites you to stop in Tuesday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., and she'll cook you your favorite breakfast to order. Champ's Diner, 719 Front Street, Woonsocket. Rediscover Champ's Diner today.
Hello, this is Anne Conway from the Museum of Working Culture, inviting you to attend the museum's signature event, A Salute to Spring, Bonjour Printemps, on Sunday, April 2nd. The all-afternoon family event will feature folk and traditional French-Canadian live music, a magician illusionist, and a sneak preview of an exciting new Woonsocket-based novel by author Annick de Bellefeuille. And since the event is on Palm Sunday, guests will learn the French-Canadian tradition of palm braiding. Your ticket includes 3 servings of delicious poutine prepared by food trucks on site, and Wright's Dairy Farm will be serving all the delicious treats you could ever want. The winners of the museum's 7th annual Poutine and Indulgence competition will be announced, and the event will culminate with the museum's annual raffle. Tickets are just $25 for adults and $10 for children 5 and older. Tickets can be purchased at the museum or at rihs.org/tickets. I also want to give a big shout out to our amazing sponsors this year: the Quebec Delegation, the Brickell Group, Wright's Dairy Farm and Bakery, Lépine Financial Advisors, the Consul General of Canada in Boston, Bourget and Associates, David Soucy, the Woonsocket Rotary Club, Fournier and Fournier Funeral Home, the Association of Teachers of French of Rhode Island, Little General Store on Cumberland Hill Road, Markham LLP, Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, Scott McGee of Remax Properties, The Friendly Home, Trudy Lamoureux, and Wealth Management Resources. Thank you.
It's Coffee In here on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder, Emily Haney-Sheehan, Mike Narducci, manager of the Board of Canvassers here in the city of Woonsocket for at least 2 more days. And then he's moving on. And he'll be down in Providence, basically doing the same job down there as well. When do you start down in Providence?
Actually, jumping right in, I start on Monday.
Really? Just 2 days off and then can't even take a week off or anything like that to relax?
They want, and again, they're eager to get somebody in place down there. They haven't had an administrator of elections since January, because the current administrator of elections that was there is now the director of elections for the state.
I see.
Secretary of State's office.
And so for those of us who don't know, like myself, where is City Hall in Providence?
It's right in the center of the city. It's right on Kennedy Plaza.
Right, okay,
Doran
that's
Street.
what I thought. But all right, just so
right across from the old Biltmore.
What is the Biltmore called these days?
I'm
The Graduate.
The Graduate. That's right.
It's the Graduate now.
Have they opened? Is it a functioning hotel?
Oh yeah.
It is. Okay.
Oh yeah,
All right.
for years now.
I just remember when it was closed. Okay.
But it still does have the Biltmore sign up at the top.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
it
All
does.
right. So start in right in on Monday. What projects are you working on here though in Woonsocket? Anything that will be sewed up by tomorrow?
I got a bunch of things that need to be sewed up by tomorrow, whether they get done or not. But no, I mean, the big thing we got going on in the office right now is National Change of Address, NCOA. It's a process where, we send the voter list out to a vendor. The vendor then gives us a list of everybody who has a change of address with the United States Postal Service. And then we do some follow-up work. So all I can say is, if you do get a notice addressed to your home and that person no longer lives there, please don't discard it. Send it back to us, return to sender. So this way it helps us maintain our voter lists. But yeah, that's
Should you
what's
write
going
something
on
on it? Like,
you just put,
occupant
you
no
just
longer
put,
here?
Yeah, you just put
relocated?
RTS and just drop it in any postal box or give it to your postal delivery person.
So you'll know what to do with it when it comes back.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There's a process all spelled out in law that we then make that person inactive, and then if they don't show up to vote in 2 federal elections under federal and state law, we can then cancel them from that address.
Now, our office represents estates, so people who've died. And sometimes the mail of the deceased is sent on to our office by the post office. We file change of addresses. Am I going to be receiving notices that say a deceased individual has their residence at my office? Because the post office doesn't necessarily know they've died. They just know that the individual's address has been changed to my office.
No, because we wouldn't get that information because their voter registration has probably been canceled or they're not active. The only way we get the information is if the person is a registered voter from that address.
Okay. So if the individual is a registered voter in Woonsocket and has died, Do you get copies of death certificates from the
So
city clerk?
We are electronically connected with Vital Statistics for the state. So what we do is once a month we get a report from Vital Statistics saying these people have died.
Oh, good. Okay.
And we're able to remove them.
Oh, great. Good.
Yep.
So that's once a month you get that report?
Yeah, we get that report once a month, and then we get also through ERIC, the Election Registration Information Center that we're part of with other states. We actually get a report from Social Security also on deaths.
All right.
All right, good. Because I always thought that, maybe that should be the job of funeral homes. Either once a week or once a month, send a report. Okay, these are the people we've all had funerals for. Here's their addresses. Take them off the voter rolls. But Vital Statistics already does that. So
Yeah.
that's one less thing the funeral home has
So
to
the
do. Okay.
the allegations that were made during the last election about millions of dead people voting, millions of dead people aren't voting because they're being automatic. Is this nationwide that they use the system?
No, I mean, every state's different. Every state's different how they maintain their voter registration files. ERIC, as far as I know, ERIC, there's, I think, 31 states now that participate in ERIC. I mean, the state pays a fee to participate in it, but it's a good program because in order to participate in the program, you have to provide ERIC with your voter registration database and your Department of Motor Vehicles database. And it's a national program, so if somebody registers in Florida, for instance, through ERIC, we get a notification that that person, has registered to vote in Florida.
But if the
and then
state
we do a
doesn't,
follow-up.
but if the state doesn't use that system, you don't get notified.
Technically, they're supposed to notify if on the voter registration form there's a last address registered at. If the voter fills that out, then the state, or the county will forward us a copy of that registration to say, hey, this person now is registered in Volusia County, Florida.
Right.
But if the person doesn't fill that out, then there's no way of us tracking that.
But one, it's all terrible to assume, but I would assume that in all of the states, their Department of Vital Statistics would be passing on to the community the list of people who have died, so that would be pretty self-evident. You don't even have to go through ERIC with that. You just have your department down in Providence. They send you the list that says, okay, Larder has died. You take him off the list. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Correct. Prior to being electronic, we used to get a printout from Vital Statistics, and a lot of cities and towns used to get a report from their city or town clerk. The issue with that then was, it always gave you the city or town of death. It did not give you the city or town of where the person actually resided.
Oh.
Okay.
But now with it electronically, now we can do a comparison through the CVRS, and that doesn't become an issue any longer.
Good.
All right. How many people worked in the office of the Board of Canvassers here in Woonsocket?
I have one full-time staff person and myself, and then my 3-member board.
Okay. And in Providence, how many people are you
Providence, I
moving to?
have 5 full-time staff members, and my 3-member board is actually they're part-time, so they come in 3 or 4 days a week in Providence.
So a lot more can get done in Providence because you have more people.
Yeah,
On paper.
but there's a lot more.
But I think
to
it's
do.
all relative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's there's a lot more to do. Like we had NCOA, for instance. I think we had 700 records. Providence had over 2,000 records to process.
Okay. All right. And then you talked about the ballots. Do the ballots have to be put out in different languages?
In Woonsocket, we're under an agreement that we provide our ballots in English and Spanish.
What about Providence?
Providence, they're under the statute where they have to provide English and Spanish. I think there's Pawtucket, Central Falls, Providence, and Woonsocket are the 4 bilingual cities and towns.
So just those two, and you don't have any like Mandarin?
Nope. So it's just Spanish right now.
Okay, very good. We're coming to the end of the program, and I wanted to bring this up for Bob because I thought it was a humorous, a lawyer kind of situation. All right. So things got saucy in Florida last Friday. A man allegedly slapped his wife in the face with a slice of pizza.
That one I heard about.
Did you? Okay. Police arrived at the home in Marion County, Florida, to arrest this man on a misdemeanor battery charge.
Okay.
All right. The two were apparently arguing over their child's discipline. when he reportedly ended the argument by slapping her upside the head with the slice of pizza.
Why did he waste a good piece of pizza?
Good slice of pizza. I
Yeah.
know. No word on the toppings. So. And we had another story yesterday. A couple of women got into an argument, I think, at a grocery store, and one picked up a head of lettuce and smashed her in the head with it. I said, talk about an odd choice of weapons.
Right.
She's going to misdemeanor battery charge as
Yeah.
well. People said, well, maybe she used that hard butt end of the lettuce and not the soft leafy kind at the top.
There's no soft part of a lettuce if it's a head like that.
Yeah.
Did you see
Funny.
I don't know.
when Liz Truss was the Prime Minister of Britain for that very short period of time? I think it was the Daily Mail newspaper had a comparison as to which was going to last longer, she or a head of lettuce.
Yeah.
And they photographed them every day.
Yeah.
She was gone before the lettuce
Lettuce
wilted.
was- Oh, that is so funny. You got a crazy sense of humor there in England.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Yes,
so,
we do.
So we've got to run. So we thank Mike Narducci for coming in. Thanks for all the work you did for the last 3 years.
No, you can. I
Gonna miss
thank
you.
you guys enough. One thing, like I said, we're very lucky to have the local media that we have here in Woonsocket. You guys were always there to support us and everything we do, and from being down at the concert series, with partnering with you guys. Registering people to vote, that was pretty successful for us.
Great.
I can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've given me.
Best of luck in Providence.
Thank you all.
All right, and Em, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll be here next week, same time, same place.
Very good. And Bob Lauder, thanks for
Hope
coming
to
in.
be with you. Thank you very much.
All right, very good. This is Joe Callahan. Stay tuned. Senior Scene is coming up next here on Owen Radio, followed by Do You Remember?
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON